Hi guys, welcome to the AWS UG community series and welcome to the episode 8. So as part of this episode, I would be calling AWS UG community of Malaysia, where the UG leads, the co-organizers and the volunteers will come on board with us on our talk show and discuss about their experiences, that how they joined this community, how they are driving it, and they will also give some tips and tips for people who are looking out that how they have to join into Malaysia, or they want to get associated with the community. So I have today a set of wonderful people. Trust me, ask your questions and they will give you a very good reply. So without wasting any time, let me go ahead and get them on board right away. Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Hey,
Loud and
Dheeraj.
All good.
All good. Welcome on board and welcome to the series of AWS UG community. I am happy that you guys have joined and accepted my invitation. So, thank you so much about that. So let's get started. So I will start the questions one by one. So let me start with the first person would be Kaushik. So hey Kaushik, so my question to you would be, can you just go ahead and share that what kind of experience you carry, how you joined this community, what was that specific thing which brought you into this community? Was it by looking into the social media post, or any friend of yours suggested to join the community? And once you joined, you have been into community for a very long time. You also have been served as a AWS ambassador from a very long time, and still currently you are carrying it. So how come you managed all these things, and what was your motivation for getting this continued for such a long time?
Thank you, Dheeraj. First of all, thank you to have us on board, the entire user group Malaysia, AWS User Group Malaysia. So on behalf of everyone, thank you for that. So this user group in particular has been running for too long. It has been there even before 2015, if I'm correct. It was done by Iyad. Iyad is Mo's younger brother, who was running the user group, and along with his friends, and they were successfully doing it. And then Mo took it over when Iyad moved out. I got engaged in this around 2018, since I was attending them, because previously, while I was back in my home country in India, I was attending and managing some of the, user groups in AWS Pune that you run now. And I used to do that back in before 2016. And I was interested to run that, to do it and be engaged in the community, because that's where we grow and thrive, right? So, and I reached out to Mo, and before joining the community, the team as a volunteer, I was there as only giving talks, attending these talks, networking, and thanks to Mo, where he gave those opportunities. He was single-handedly running that. Then I think 2019 December, Mo, is when we had a discussion that we want to grow, and he had that ambition and said, okay, we want to take that forward. So along with some AWS folks who also connected us, and then we actually worked together. We said, okay, let's do it together, and we started it off. Then came pandemic, and we went completely offline, and post pandemic we are here. And I think we are at the same circle now. Now we are come to a point where we want to grow, and that's where we reached out to the community again, and we have a larger volunteer base, helping out. So I think I'll set that context where probably that will lead up to points from other team members as well. But for me, it was Mo who was driving it single-handedly, making that happen for the community, and for my own urge to be part of the community that drove me towards it. So yeah.
Thank you, Kaushik, for sharing your background, that how you joined the community. That was fantastic. So moving to Mo. So my next question would be to you, that how you started this community, and as said by Kaushik, that you have been running it from a long time, and also bringing up more people on board, expanding your team so that everybody is getting equal opportunity. So what is your motivation that drives you through to work onto this community thing? Because that is honorary job where we don't get anything, but yes, we spend our time, we give our weekends, a lot of things. So what keeps you motivated to keep?
Right. Right. Thank you so much, Dheeraj, for hosting us. First of all, I'm really enjoying this series. I was watching the one you did with user group in Dubai, and other user groups. Really, really valuable, actually. I listened to some of their ideas as well. Hopefully, we'll implement some. So basically, like Kaushik mentioned, I do remember it exists before 2015. They run a couple of meetups started by 𝐻𝐚𝐫𝐿, the CTO from Fave. They run a couple of meetups. Then the user group was dead for maybe 1 year. No one was active anymore. Then we were doing a couple of cool stuff. I remember I was working with a company called Fave here in Malaysia, and we use a lot of AWS. So I was talking with 𝐻𝐚𝐫𝐿, our CTO. I said, like, we should start talking about what we are doing with the community. And he mentioned, he said, okay, why you don't actually go and lead the user group? No one is leading it now. It's been for a while, no one run a meetup. So like, okay, let's do that. I still remember we hosted, I remember the first one in Fave when after like 1 year cut, right? In our office, not a lot of people came, I remember. And then I remember, okay, we need to be really consistent, right? So I had this chat with 𝐻𝐚𝐫𝐿. He said, like, you definitely don't need to get bored very fast. Keep consistent. First time, like, we got like 30 people, 40 people. Between that for like actually 1-2 years, not that big at that time. So my motivation was at the beginning, I really want to share with the community what we were doing. So I started giving public speaking, talking about what's happening with our company. Then I started bringing speakers from different company. And like Kaushik said, 2018, I remember AWS ran a hackathon, and there were actually met Kaushik and other guys in the community. And Kaushik was like, actually, I have a couple of ideas. We sit a couple of times. He came with a lot of cool ideas for the community and said, okay, let's start growing. Because like Kaushik mentioned, that it was me only and Gohar, which is not with us today. And Kaushik, we said, I have a couple of ideas. Let's grow the community. Let's do that. And we started working together 2018 for a few years. Then we started as well scaling the team. We have Zidan, Sanjay, and Marc join us as well. So yeah, that's how it started. So again, what's motivated me? I'd love to share with the community things. Networking is amazing. Yesterday we have the biggest event so far. So that's basically what really motivated me, just like the community.
So that's a very good journey that you have shared with us. Really appreciate that. So moving forward to Sujay. So Sujay, I can see that you are working as a volunteer. You're contributing to your level best, and working as part of the team into this user group of Malaysia. So when you joined as a volunteer, what is your experience from a volunteering perspective, and how it is helping you grow personally and professionally?
So let me share some personal story before I go into that part. So I used to watch this live stream of AWS User Group Malaysia back when it was during the lockdown. And that was the first time I came to know about this group. So during that time, I was in a different state in Malaysia, which is Penang. And I always had an ambition, like one day I will go and watch this live event sometime. So luckily, I got a chance to move down to KL for work. And now from last 6 months, I've been in KL. So I also used to run the Docker Penang meetup group. So I was a little bit involved in the community. And when I came down to KL, I had to grow my networking thing. And so that's the first time I went down to AWS User Group back in September, where we had the meetup in Max's office, I think so. And that's where I met first day with Mao, Kaushik, and the team over here. And I've been attending most of the events after that one. And recently during, I think so, after December, we got an opportunity where Kaushik opened it up for some of the AWS community builders to be given a chance to volunteer in the group. And that's how me, Zidan, everyone took up the task. So first thing, it helps like to go and talk to people who are new to you, expand your network, talk to people who are coming and giving the talks, learn from them the new topics, what's happening. Also, I got a chance to talk in the meetup also, where I shared my experience, how I used TCS thing into my work experience, sharing with the community. So that's one of the main objective for me, giving back to the community the things what I learned during my personal work experience, sharing with the community. That's how I go and join this group with that intent.
Thank you so much for sharing your wonderful journey. That's incredible. So moving forward to, I guess we lost Zidan. Let me pull him back again. So let me move to Anirudh. Anirudh, can you hear us loud and clear?
Yes, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, your sound is having a bit problem at your end. So if you can just try to fix that. There is a background noise.
Better now.
Yeah. Can you try now?
I think his network is down.
Okay. So no worries. So let's move to Zidan. Zidan, can you hear us loud and clear?
Yes. My internet is a little bit slow,
Okay, no problem.
but I can hear you.
So that if that's the problem, you can switch off your video. Otherwise, it consumes more bandwidth. You can speak without video also. That is also sufficient for us for hearing out your journey as part of community. So Zidan, as you're also working as part of volunteer, so what is your journey? How you joined this community of Malaysia, and what is your experience after joining it?
Actually, the community, I know about the communities since 2019. Actually, one of my friends had talked there. But recently, actually, one of AWS employees has reached out. He reached out to me. He did mention like we have a great community. Why not to join us and see? So I joined the first time. Was luckily in my current company in AirAsia. So I joined there. It was amazing. Like a lot of folks. We did a lot of network, and then I decided, okay, let's do a talk. So I was actually intended to do a talk first, and then as he invited us from the AWS we have actually AWS community builder, right? So they invited all the AWS community builder, and then okay, we need volunteer, we need to grow. I found it's a great idea to join to the community and to build actually this really amazing community, building the network. And this is actually passionate me to share my knowledge with other folks. And it's a good community to talk, a good community to build your network, which is really passionate me. So I decided, okay, why not we join as a volunteer and to build that community, make it great, make it wide again. And then I decided to join. So yeah, I made it. We joined. I did a first time I did a talk, I guess on March, on February. Yeah, I did a talk in February, and yeah, it was amazing. So I joined as a volunteer.
So that's again an incredible journey. Round of applause for that. So hearing you out, I understand that community builder program has actually made impact for everywhere, and I have seen many people coming as a community builder to various streams. So in community or as heroes also nowadays. I also started my journey as a community builder. So this specific program is very close to my heart. So I do understand, yes, it gives you a lot of insights, it gives you a lot of networking opportunity, and it's really amazing. I second your thought. So thank you so much, Zidan, for sharing your experience uh, as part of the community. So moving toward Anirudh. Anirudh, can you hear us loudly?
Yeah, I can hear you guys loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Okay, I think the audio issue is still there, so no worries. So
It's better now.
I see. I think it's really bad mark from your end. It's
Yeah,
very
I'm sorry.
hearable.
I'm in a corner of KL, if that makes sense to everyone over here. So
okay,
the network might not be the greatest.
but now it's
Just out of
now it's better.
yeah, it's good. All
Yes,
right, cool.
it's good. So
Yeah.
Anirudh, over to you. How is your journey of AWS UG of Malaysia? How you joined and how you are moving ahead with the community?
Thank you so much for first of all having me on this. this platform today. So how I got to know about the AWS community. So just like Sanjay, I recently moved to KL as part of my role being a solutions architect for an AWS partner. So now moving to a new place is obviously scary for everyone, right? So one of my goals was to find a community of like-minded people, right? And now AWS User Group was something that I found out about through someone in AWS, a guy named Fabian, right? He told me about the AWS User Group and about the fact that there are like-minded people out there who gather every month to discuss technology, right? And that was something that opened up networking possibilities, finding people to connect to, right? And that's how I've actually made a few friends through this community. Um, in around November, I had the opportunity to even speak to the community. I spoke about serverless and cloud native applications. Now, and through that interaction itself, you could see how technology broadens, one knowledge and also opens up interaction between people, because we had questions come from various organizations, right? So I'm normally in the competitive space where I'm competing against other cloud providers, right? I'm competing against Kaushik as well, sometimes. So from that perspective, but when you step out of that competitive world into a community of sharing, it's a huge improvement in especially your personal life. So I like bringing solution architect knowledge into my personal life, right? So even if I'm doing something, I'd be like, is this what a solution architect would do? So think about the well architected framework. Is this cost optimized purchase? I don't need to be going and buying chocolates all the time. So anyways, stuff like that, right? And that's been my journey with the community at the moment. And then I obviously spoke to Kaushik about volunteering, becoming part of the group that organizes this community, contributing a lot more than just talks, but also in helping the community grow. So we're looking at doing some pretty cool stuff with the community, and yeah, that's been my journey. Thanks, Dheeraj.
Thank you for sharing the fantastic journey. So now as we know how everybody has joined community, so let's talk something about community, what happens in community, and what are our plans to move ahead as part of this community of Malaysia. So my next question would be to Kaushik or Mo. Anyone of you can answer that. Uh, During the COVID time, there came a wave where everything is virtual. Events are virtual, meetups are virtual. Our lives also became virtual because we were working from office. So now, as COVID has gone, and many cities or many countries have moved towards physical meetups that people are doing. So, what is your experience? What do you think? What is more impactful? Is it virtual, or it is the physical meetup? Over to you guys.
Well,
Okay, I will share a couple of things, then I will pass it to you, Kaushik. During the lockdown, actually, we run at 12 up to 12 Kaushik meetups, right? So we actually, we
yes,
didn't skip any meetup. And first I was like, damn, now lockdown, and Kaushik is fine. We can actually go all online. Let's do that. And actually, at some point, we quite like it. Like we start bringing speakers not only from Malaysia. We start like getting speakers from Netherlands, Germany, people who were working here and travel around. They start actually joining as speakers as well. So it was really, really interesting. We stream everything to YouTube as well. And here we start focusing on our YouTube channel. So after when the lockdown is ended, we had a guy. His name is Salam, where he's handling the streaming, and we start actually. You know what? We need to keep it hybrid. So let's keep it like on site now, plus as well stream, so people as well, the community from different country can still benefit from the talks happening in our meetup. So I would say actually it was a bit bad. We were disappointed at the beginning, but actually it was like as well good at some point for our community to expose to everywhere. Yeah.
agree. Because we reached out to multiple AWS heroes that I had in the thing. We had Brian from US, talking about Alexa technology and all others, right? So those who had, they actually gave a talk in their midnight and were contributing to the Malaysia user group talks. There were, sessions that, as Mo mentioned, people from Germany Netherlands, Europe, Australia. The recent hero Wendy Wong, she gave a talk as well. She was still a community builder, so that's something opened up. So that was the benefit of it, and I think we were quick to pivot. The very first month of the lockdown, we were like, okay, guys, we still need to continue this. And for me, it was just the third or fourth month when I was involved as the volunteer. And I think we quickly pivoted and we moved to, since March 2020, we moved to online. And we had a track record of not missing a month without a meetup. So that's something which we continued, and we take pride in sharing that. And we went there. And as soon as we knew that now it went into the post pre-pandemic mode where still Mask and others were there, but still we said, okay, let's give it a try. And surprisingly, we had a huge turn up in the first meetup itself. People were coming in because everyone was so tied out, and they called it the movement control order here, MCO. Once that was lifted, immediately people came in. We had it, and the biggest corporates were starting to host us. We had it at the AWS office, and then with the biggest telco, then with the biggest oil and gas company here. So all of them opened up because they wanted talent to be coming into their office meeting. So that helped out. And when we actually full blown went into having our meetups in person and having that hybrid mode where streaming it to YouTube as well. And to that fact, we have grown now. And yesterday we had our biggest audience of close to 190 plus community members who joined a meetup yesterday in our meetup. So that's a record for us, our user group as well. So which is great. So yeah, I think it has evolved well over time, indeed.
That's really great. But was it a virtual meetup or it was a physical meetup?
It's a physical meetup. The yesterday one was a physical meetup where we had 190 people in the space that was hosting us. So a company called Settle was hosting us yesterday, and there were 190 plus people in that room, in that space.
Wow, that's incredible. Seriously.
Yep. Yep.
So yes, I really admire that work that you guys are doing. But still, we didn't concluded that what you like more. Are you more inclined towards the physical meetups, or you are more inclined towards
So
the
I think the
virtual?
answer is physical meetups, yes.
Yes.
But we learned a lot with the virtual one, and we're bringing the best of both worlds together to take that forward. So I think the answer is, of course, we don't like the virtual because we had a lot of Zoom fatigue, as you want to call it, or whatever.
Yes.
We wanted to move out, but now we have the best of both worlds, and we're taking that forward.
Okay, great. So as you have also worked on a virtual thing and you are now working onto the physical ones, so didn't you feel that there was people started losing that grip of peer-to-peer networking, which was the main concept for the for us as a community of conducting the events while we were in the virtual mode? What do you guys think about that?
Kind of. I think I remember we run a couple of online meetups. Right? Then Kaushik said, okay, why we don't actually do networking session online after each meetup? And actually, I remember one meetup was really interesting because we just stopped the stream, and after we finished the talks, and everyone's still in the meetup, and we just
Meetup.
actually we just do networking. And actually, it was very valuable because a lot of people actually from here start talking with solutions architects and developers working in Netherlands and Germany, and start asking them, like, what do you guys do things there? How things is there? How's the hiring process is there? So it was actually really benefits because you are now mixing from different countries. So whatever want to trying to work outside, or whoever want to come to Malaysia and work here. So it was really, really interesting as well that time. But still, to be honest, you still miss the physical conversation. So yeah, I would say it was good, but again, if you ask me which one you prefer, I would say definitely the physical one for me.
Yeah, we actually shifted from StreamYard. We were doing a StreamYard, which is a one-way, right? Similar to Milan, where we are talking, and that was it. And that's where, as Mo said, we shifted to Google Meet, and then we had people join in, and then started streaming the Google Meet talk itself. So then people asking questions, it became more interactive. The questions were live questions coming in. All of that happened, and then we stopped the stream and then moved to the networking session. So that we actually pivoted from there, and right after the first 2 months, because we saw the need for that.
Great, great. So my next question would be to everyone, anyone if they want to answer. So usually when you're running a UG group, so we as a team, we try to gauge what kind of audience we are catering. So what kind of strategy you guys follow where you gauge that what kind of people you are going to cater, and based on that you design your talks that are going to be delivered. So is there any thing that you do to gauge it, and based on that you actually chalk out your talks which will be more impactful based on the audience to whom you are going to cater?
Anyone
Anyone?
want to take that? Maybe I'll just
Yeah,
go ahead.
let's
Go ahead, Sanjay.
volunteer one. So my experience, like working with the group, is that I don't think so. We have that kind of filter yet, where we kind of invite, we expect everyone like from the ground, very basic experience to a well advanced experience level people coming into the talk, and we kind of open up the speakers to be invited without any criteria, I would say. So that's been my experience working with this. Maybe Kaushik can add more on to that.
Yeah. So I think we've been driven very community driven. So we get the speakers from the community. So every meetup we actually post out, if you're interested, submit it to us, and we have the sheets in which we just go through, comb through, and say, okay, we have 5 people who want to talk about DevOps. Okay. So we just pick 2 of them or reach out to them and say, okay, both of you are DevOps or this. Are you ready to give a talk? And then make it a DevOps theme day, right? The next one would be, we would have people from security, people who want to do only security talks, and we bring them in and say, okay, both of you will do a security and such security theme. I think once I remember we did only once where we did a a 3-part series where it was on crypto or Web3, right, Mo? And I think that was the one where we had a particular theme defined for the next 3 meetups, and we broke that down. Apart from that, it was always been based on feedback coming in because it's from the community and it's being done. So that's helped us. So it gives us variety and helps us to keep the flow going.
Right, right. And I want to add one thing as well. Like we try actually to target as well all level of people from the community, because last time we started doing it at University Monash University was hosting us basically. So all the people who's attending fresh graduates. So sometimes our topic as well, like is a bit advanced. So the fresh comes like not really understand what's happening. That's why we came with the idea of lighting talks. So basically you have 2 main talks. Then between the talks, now we're trying lighting talks. So basically, we give you 5 minutes. Now, what's the goal of the lighting talks? Is usually most of the time the lighting talk will be not that advanced, because you will explain the idea in a very simple way, so it will benefit basically everyone. So anyone from the community can come, 5 minutes, share about anything. So that's why we're trying to do this, to target more audience. Plus, we want to give opportunity as well for people who doesn't have public speaking experience. They are very, very new to AWS, but they can't give a 30 minutes talk. As well, we want to give them opportunity to come and share with what they are doing with the community. So this is something we're still trying. We have only 2 lighting talks so far. So hopefully we will have more in the upcoming meetups.
So I will tell you from where this question came. So we started. We are like UG Pune is doing it from July. So in January we had 300 plus people for our reinvent recap. Okay, and at that time we started gauging our audience that to whom we are catering. So at that time we saw we from this 2023 the students crowd, they have actually got so much interested to learn about AWS cloud and everything. They are coming in more. So based on the entries that have been coming in, so we were gauging that if there are students, and if I'm going to talk about a control tower, they won't understand this high level concepts, means like organization, they don't want to understand, because first they want to understand that how they want to create the account and all. So from that question came, because now we are also actually working onto that, to have one 100 level talk or a beginner talk, so that people can get started, because many a times I see new people coming in or students coming in. So that is the reason I was asking that, do you have any strategy that you follow? Because we nowadays follow this strategy. So as part of our last meetup, what we did is the Women's Day that we did. So in that we changed our model where we kept only one technical talk, which was from Bhuvna, and the other ones was what is community, how community operates. Ridhima gave that, and the next one was how it works on the account level. So it was very basic. So I guess so the gauging was somewhat working. I won't say 100%, but still, that is where the question came from. That's why I was asking you guys that what kind of audience you cater. If it is more students, then I think somewhere we have to keep 100 level or that
I
kind.
think that's a very valid point there, Dheeraj. I think probably a metric for us to gauge as well. But just from the audience that we see from the meetups, when we don't do it in user groups, we see a lot of engineers who are there in their entry level jobs in the first 5 years of their journey, and who want to learn and be part of the network and upskill themselves, right? I think that's just from the engagements that we have had, and we speak to some of them, that's we do it. Maybe a question from my end, just switching the thing here, right? Question from me to you. How are you gauging that? Is it from a metric where you are asking people to fill in
Yes,
details when they register, or
yes,
okay?
you
Okay.
got it right. So that is how I started. So we do have entry on meetups, but still I request people to uh, write in physically that what exactly their domain is. Are they working professionals? And if they are, then how much of experience and the niche on which they are working. Is it DevOps or cloud computing? Or if they are students, they will just write for students. So that is how
Understood.
I try to gauge that what kind of audience we are going to get.
Okay, thanks. I think, yeah, something for us to see and see if we can effectively use that metric at our end and take that forward. Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah. So actually, that I am also working upon. So I thought maybe I might get some idea from you guys if you are already doing it, because you are running it from a very long time. So it's not only for you; it's for all of us. We all have to do it
Exactly,
as a
exactly. Yeah,
AWS community. So that.
certainly.
So now moving to the next question. So mm, when have you encountered a situation where someone comes to Kaushik or Mo, you as a UG lead, and they said that I'm very excited to join the AWS community of Malaysia, and I want to become the UG lead directly. How can I do that? And how you answer this question? Have anybody
I mean,
this question?
I never faced this, but I never faced this issue because usually when people want to join, you see like they are motivated. They just want to do it actually for the community. I remember when Kaushik came, it's like it's not like to start community. It's like just like, I want actually to improve the community. Same thing for Marc and Sanjay, right? But for me, if someone come and want to, I would love actually to, because if you look at Australia, actually Australia they do have, even in the same state, you have multiple user groups. So you have, for example, the serverless AWS user group. You have maybe security user group, which yesterday we announced they already starting AWS security user group, right? So if they would love actually to do that, we'll give them all our support. Maybe they start a different type of AWS user group, again targeting different audience, like the security one. And of course, we would love to support them in that. And my advice, anyone want to start a user group or a community, consistency. I see a lot of people here, sometimes they start a group, for example, they run 2 meetups, then they give up immediately because no one is actually attending. If you really want to run actually the user group, you actually do it because you love to share with the community. So whether you are sharing with 5 people or 200 people, you really need consistency. Plus, you need to do it as, you need to make it as like a routine for your attendance. Like it's not like I'm going to attend a meetup. So that's why we do it every third week of the month or every third Thursday, because people actually got used to it. It's like, okay, today we have a meetup. Let's come have some food,
Yes.
networking, and see what's new. So that's what advice if anyone want to start and lead a user group, whether it's AWS or any other things. Consistency, man, and do it because you love to do it.
Perfect.
So yeah.
So Kaushik, you want to add anything else? I
I
hope you
think
might
that,
have got this question.
yeah. So I think I would have been the first person asking more, right? Whether I want to join you, are you fine? And because he's been single-handedly running that by choice. Not by choice because there was no one other person there to help him. He and Gohar who were there and then leading it, but it was all done, and I reached out to him and with the same thing that we want to do it. And nowadays, yes, we do keep getting people who say, because
Let me rephrase my question. In the first meetup itself, so I am coming. This is my first meetup, and that is directly the question.
okay, so we have not had that experience so far. So I think people are there to be part of the community and take that, so which is great, and they are seeing that. So we are doing this more of a volunteer thing. They also know there's not much that we take back home. It's a volunteer thing, and it's going beyond your day job and getting that done, right? So it's an effort. So people who are very keen, all the people who are there in the call and a couple of more who are also not there on the call, right? Gohar, Sanket, and others. They are there because they were keen to do it. Many people, so, we actually went through a process for getting these team members to be there. AWS actually sponsored a dinner where we had all the community builders come in. All of them came in. We showed our vision of the user group, what we want to do, right? We actually shared for this year, this is a plan. We are planning a community day, and hence, we want a larger team to come in. We need a volunteer base. Mo alone cannot do it. Me alone, we cannot do it. We need more people to join us and join hands. We had a session at AWS office and then followed up by dinner. And we said, guys, we have until Friday. This was a Wednesday. You have until Friday, decide and come back. So out of 15 people, only 3 or 4 of them said, okay, you kept their hands still up, saying that we are keen and actually being there for it selflessly. So I think that is what is required. And when that happens, automatically you become a part of the group.
So which is the community day that you're talking about?
So we are planning one for June. So AWS Community Day Malaysia. So we are planning that. So it's something that is in works. So hopefully we'll be able to publicly announce that very soon. And today I think is a precursor to it.
I was
So
going to say that finally I got that from you guys. So the audience who are watching, so you got it very early.
yes, so you got it from 𝐷𝕉 Chaudhary's YouTube channel. So, but yeah, so that's the thing, right? So we will be officially announcing it as well, and I think it's a very good thing because a couple of weeks back, AWS leadership announced the new region in this country as well. So I think it's all well tied up. So it's a surprise for us, and it's all gelling in. So I think it's good for the community to build, learn, and then be ready for what's coming up for the nation. Yeah.
Okay, great. So Sujay, you wanted to add something? I saw you speaking on mute.
No. So just want to share an experience from yesterday. So there was one guy who was like second time coming into our group, and he came us and congratulated Kaushik and other members, saying that during the cloud day in Malaysia, he won some credits and he started using those credits and started with some of the services. So that's the experience I just want to share with you.
Literally, he shared that he traveled 3.5 hours by train and bus. He's a student, so he traveled 3.5 hours to just come for the meetup, which he learned from the cloud day, which happened a couple of weeks back. And he said, this is a learning experience, and he wants to be part of this community where he can learn, right? So I think those kind of feedback is what all of us are happy to hear, and at least gives us a boost to keep continuing what we all do.
Okay, that's nice to know. So guys, what I have seen nowadays, as I said, students are getting more excited about learning about AWS cloud. So I'm not sure about Malaysia. So what is at your end? So is it the student community becoming more impactful into the meetups and the events? Are they getting more into this kind of learning?
Mo, you want to take that?
Sorry, Dheeraj, can you repeat the question again?
So the question is, nowadays we have seen that students community are coming forward to learn about AWS cloud computing, because the level of community sharing has gone to a certain level where everyone now knows that what is community and how they can get benefit out of it by learning new things. So do you see a spike in the audience where more students crowd are coming in as part of 2023? I can ask this question. Do you see that a spike onto more student contribution towards it?
You mean sparking people who start attending these meetups, or people who
Right.
start
Just
learning
from the
to
students
cloud?
first. Students like the people who are in the graduations, they want to start learning, yeah, that kind of.
Right, right. Definitely. Actually, this year or like the past few months, I start seeing a lot of people coming from a university. And I remember we run one in Maxis a few months back, and there's one guy just fresh grad, right? He came here, he was asking me like, uh, I catch up in one of the previous meetups. I asked him like, okay, attend our next meetup in Maxis. They're hiring, and he's a fresh grad. I'm not sure if he graduated or still is actually studying, and he just came to Maxis, and Maxis were hiring, and he went to talk with the engineering manager, and actually he got the job there. And so I started really a lot of people from university, fresh grad, really interested in cloud computing in general. So I think this meetups actually it's good for them. You just like most of the time they are very shy, they don't do so. Usually you need to go talk with them, let them network, tell them who's hiring, and yeah. So I see, and they are very consistent. Some of them, a couple of the guys I see them like every month there. Even if the topic is really advanced, they just sit, try to catch up, and they do ask questions as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do
And
see the last few months. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we saw an uptake after we did events at university, which was in December and January, right? So that's when they started hearing about us, and even some of the AWS essays who are very keen in the community and are alumni of these colleges. They have spread a word for us, which is helping us. Like Fahim is an alumni from here. He's an SA in AWS, but he just whenever he's meeting his alumni and he would push through. And we are seeing a lot of students coming in from a couple of universities. And as a vision for this year for our user group as well, we plan to partner with at least 3 universities, one which we have done, 2 more to go. And when we say partnership, it's something where we can do for the university, and the university can also bring back students and others to the community user group and others. So that's something we were evaluating if the cloud clubs that AWS is planning to run with student ambassadors could be here. It's not here in Malaysia yet, but if that comes in, that will become a formal body which will we can extend ourselves to each other and complement each other. So yeah, let's see.
So actually, you guys told my second question that I was about to speak. That are you conducting your events into university or colleges that could boost up the student audience? So anyways,
Yes.
as you have taken my second question, I will go to the another one that is still
Yeah.
associated with that. So when you're going to university, so what kind of roadmap you keep to educate those students? So you usually go with the roadmap of getting started with, into AWS, or you go with the roadmap of some certification bootcamp or some I can say practical hands-on by using a DevOps lab. So what kind of strategy you guys follow or you have understood?
So maybe we'll take a cue from
Actually,
what you guys are doing in CSSR, CISR, CICR. Is that right? Which college did you do it recently?
SCISR, that is,
Okay.
in short, that is
Symbi-
Symbiosis College.
Symbiosis College. I believe you're running that. But at our end, we've been doing purely a meetup with each of these universities
Okay.
where they are helping us host our meetups. So we are not going and targeting the colleges, the students. If the students want to join voluntarily, they can join, but it's not dedicatedly focused on a student community to be done. We probably will take a cue from what you guys are doing in your user groups in Pune, where you're conducting workshops or immersion days for specifically content specific for the students, right? That's something that we have not done so far, but will be potentially that's what we will be targeting on. And more, sorry, I cut you there.
Yes, Mo, go ahead.
Right, and actually, I like what you said, Diraj, which you give me just now an ideas, right? Because we are hosting in the university, and actually, like Kaushik said, we're running like just normal meetups. And actually, one time it was like very cool topics, which is not for beginners, right? But now you just say maybe actually we should start. Maybe the lighting talks should be like, okay, how you can get into certification, like what you just mentioned, right? Is like how you prepare for your first certificate, associate one, which I think we should do something like what you guys are doing. So yeah, here we got some feedback from you and some ideas as well.
No, actually, this idea I got from one of my co-organizers and the audience itself. So trust me, the college itself, they gave us idea that why don't you do a workshop or something in our college, and they are working as a college volunteer. So they said that we will set up, you just come, and everything will be ready. You just drive us through. So that is how this thing came to us. So usually in this kinds of workshop, I guess colleges themselves looking for experienced people like us, or the community people who want to spare some of their time and share their knowledge. So that becomes as I said, like at our age or at our time when we were studying these kinds of superb activities where we can learn a lot of things like meetups and all were not there. But for these people, it's really amazing that they get so much of opportunities, mentorship with community people. So based on that, they can grow very well. And I have seen many. So few weeks before, I was in Breops. So I met one guy. He started his startup in first year itself of engineering, and in final year, he has deployed 50 to 80 people are working under him.
Nice.
So that's the level of competency that these people have gained for the current generation, and I really love and admire that. And I also learn from them that you guys have actually utilized your time so efficiently that you have gone to that level. So moving forward, so as this talk show is limited to few people, would you guys like to go ahead and give some shout out to other people who have not joined it, but yes, they have been actively contributing to UG Malaysia by taking their names or talking something about about them? Any story of any?
For me, definitely, I would actually Arzumi, which Arzumi is always, like it's not involved now with our community, but for me, the past few years, actually, whatever Arzumi is the city of faith, basically. If you're familiar with faith company, so really helped me at the beginning actually to scale at the meetup at the beginning, because again, like I mentioned, like sometimes you lose motivation when it's still small, there are people joining. So give me like some feedback, how to make it easier for people to attend. Even I do remember when I started doing like all this public speaking, is like always reviewing my public talk and like give me some tips. So definitely he's one actually. The people actually, he's the one who started the user group at the beginning. But again, like I said, he left it. But as well, he provided me like a lot of support, behind the scenes at all. So yeah, I would love to do that for shout out for Arzumi for actually starting this community and give me the support. And I saw him in the cloud day a few days back when we did, and he's like, "Oh, the user group is scaled now, man." It's like, yeah, thanks to Kaushik and Sanjay and Marc and 𝐷𝕐𝕐, which like again, the bigger the team, but definitely need passionate people as well about the community. And yeah, so that's my shout out from my end.
Yeah.
From your
And
okay, thank you.
yeah, I think 𝐷𝐸𝐻, she's been there very active. All of the creatives that you see that come out
Right.
from our end, she's the creative mind behind it, who brings out all the creatives for it. And I think shout
Right.
out to
Sorry, Coach,
Salam as well.
I just forgot one important person. I just want to say before we move forward, which is Donny. Donny as well. Maybe Sujay and Zidan, actually, they just Marc just met him last week, but I really forgot. Donny is one of the biggest supporter for us. So he's actually based in Singapore. He support a lot of all the user group. But actually, when we started as well, he used to come from Singapore all the way here for one day. We just sit and say, okay, what support do you need? Do you want credits? Do you want swags? Let's do that. Let's do this. So Donny as well definitely is
And
he's a principal advocate. So he's one working with AWS. But again, he's really support, and he always come and share with the community as well. And you have from the Malaysian team, you have Fabian and Fahim. Fahim just joined and starting supporting us. So these are the people who really, I feel, they really scale our community. And now new people as well starting to join, supporting us from Serena. So yeah, all of these people, thanks to them. Without them, actually, community won't be that big, to be honest.
Yeah, and to call out, Donnie used to do that even when he was not a DevRel part of the DevRel team. So now that AWS has a structure to it to support the community, he used to do that when he was independent without. It was not because he was associated with AWS; it was just because he was passionate that he used to do it. And similarly, the names that Mo just took, Fabian, Fahim, are not part of the DevRel team, but it is out of their day job scope that they help us and take it through. These people are directly with AWS. And beyond that, Mo, and with your and everyone's thank, I would like to also call out for Salam, who was part of the core committee until December, and he stepped out because of personal commitments that he had. But he's the one who was core part managing it and taking it through, and we are here because of every contribution that was there. So thanks to him and everyone else who's part of this team, Sanjay, Zidan, Marc, and of course we have two more. We have Sanket as well, who have joined recently with Sanjay, and he's away as well for now. But yeah, so thanks to everyone.
Great. So Sujay, you can also speak up if you want to give some shout out. It's always good to give shout out to people who are helping us in this voluntary efforts.
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely like to give a shout out to Gohar for her all work she's doing within the team. You give any task, it will be there for you within that 1-2 hour.
Okay. So I'm hearing Gohar. I don't know why she's not on the call. We should have called her on the call itself.
We should invite her next time. I think she just
It's
left
your
to,
mistake. You limited
country.
it to 5. You limited
Yeah.
it to 5. So I was like, I had no choice.
Yes.
Yeah, and actually, Governor, I do remember I had very ugly posters for our logo before. It was like, like we do it for ourselves. Then Governor said, like, what is that? Okay, let me design everything for you again, guys. And she started designing the poster and like the logos. So yeah, definitely, she really add on that level as well.
Okay, great. So Zidan and Anirudh, would you like to add some shout outs? Or you're good?
I guess I'll give to Fahim to bring me up to this community. It's really, really helping the community in an indirect way. He's trying to get a lot of people to be volunteered. So I really give a shout to him. And
Fahim is
go.
the one who is into developer relations into AWS? Who?
No, he's
Okay.
not.
No.
He's an essay. He's just an essay.
That
Passionate
is,
about it. He was with a competitor and part of the community with the competitor CSP as well. Moved into AWS and then building the community with AWS. So it's just his passionate thing coming in, and he's the one who connects us with all the universities and so on and so forth. Yeah.
oh, that's great. I think that is going to be the future because nowadays this students are, they are doing crazy stuff. You just teach them and they will bring some fantastic project and they will say that let's do it. So they are so
Totally.
passionate because now they have
Agree.
to do it, and
Agree.
they have mentors like you who can help and help them grow, and they will just do whatever the mentor says to grow in that direction. So I guess there is no further questions from my end. So I guess by this talk, we got one announcement, that is AWS Community Day of Malaysia, which would be happening soon. So uh, I do understand that we cannot always, give a right date or month because this event is so dynamic. It can change or it can be on the same time also, right?
Right.
So for now, the audience who are listening, yes, we have it, but whenever we have it, you will get the notifications. If you
Sooner than later.
yeah, if you follow them on their Meetup, LinkedIn, Facebook pages. So if you
Yeah.
want to when it is going to happen, check out the link which is there for their Meetup page, their Facebook
So,
page,
so
and Twitter.
just FYI, we'll hopefully have our own website up soon. So Sujay is working on that. So we'll be having our website and all the announcements and everything will be up on that page as well. So that asset will be a thing for us to showcase that, and we'll put out the details out there soon.
Okay, great, great. So that is again a new announcement that we would be having a new website for this community activities from AWS UG Malaysia. I guess are you targeting to share the PPTs or the photos that are there as part of that meetup, because people actually look for it? So
Yes.
that is the idea
So
behind.
yes, so the consolidated thing will be out. So as part of the everything, we'll go through the CPF call for paper, CFPs call for papers, and the community content, right? So that content again, we are hoping to bring in some audio AV guys so that we can record that content and make it available for everyone on our YouTube channel as well. And then beyond that, the PPT itself and content to be made available to everyone. So yeah, so hopefully all that comes into materialization, we're able to share that soon.
That's a fantastic news, and again, that is a fantastic input for me also. Let me also think about it.
Sure.
About that, I have not yet thought, because meetup was sufficient for us to share everything. But let's see how it goes. Thank you for that input. So I guess I'm done with my questions. Anything you guys want to add, or
So as a
that,
closing note, I think as you mentioned, Dheeraj, thank you for this platform that you're providing to all the user group, team members that are there globally. It's an honorary job, as you mentioned earlier, and I think this provides a platform for all the leaders out there who are volunteering in this space. So thank you for that and appreciate it, and thank you for having us.
thank you. So thank you guys. Have a great weekend ahead. See you soon in
Yep. Thank you.
Malaysia.
Thank you, Sujay.
See you soon, and
Same
hopefully
to
we have the
Dheeraj.
community
Thanks,
summit.
Oh, okay, guys. See you.
thanks,
Have a
guys.
great weekend. Goodbye.
Bye.
See you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.